Greetings, my name is Matikizela Mandisi. My group members is Matikizela Aseza, Notlonipo Madonna, and Tobego Luthuli. Also, Andile Madlala. We are here to present the respiratory system, which is found on CAPS under the topic of circulatory system. When we investigate our topic, we observed that the natural sciences specific aims are linked to our topic. Specific aims, number one, is doing science, whereby learners should be able to complete investigation, analyze problems, and practical skills. Specific aim number two, knowing subject content and making connections, where learners should have grasp of scientific, technological, and environmental knowledge and be able to apply it in context. Specific aim number three is understanding the use of science, where learners should be able to understand the use of natural sciences and indigenous knowledge and environmental.
Now, getting into the topic objectives, as we all know that we have 3 topic objectives so far for this respiratory system, which are values and attitude, knowledge and skills. We're going to start with knowledge, whereby learners will be able to describe the structure and function of respiratory system, which includes breathing, gaseous exchange, and cellular respiration, just to name a few. Now, touching to the next point, which is values and attitude. Learners will develop an appreciation of learning about keeping their healthy lifestyle choices and making sure that they avoid smoking so that their respiratory system will function at its optimum level. Now, coming to the final objective, which are skills. Using resource-based learnings like models, charts, and diagrams, learners will be able to identify, explain, and describe the structure and function of the respiratory system and the circulatory system at large.
Me and my group members, we've decided to collect a recyclable material to build and construct a breathing model, which is a lung model, to demonstrate a respiratory system, specifically which is inhalation and exhalation. And then we have used straws to represent trachea, a booklet to represent a rib cage, and then balloon to represent left lungs and the right lungs, and then the clear rep to represent a diaphragm. And then I'm going to demonstrate to learners as a teacher in class how does the process of breathing or exhalation or inhalation process occurs using the model. And then the process of inhalation, begins as I construct the clear rep, which is a diaphragm. The balloons construct, expanding and moving downwards, which means the rich oxygen air will fill the lungs and then will fill or occupy the lungs. That's how the process of inhalation takes place. And then demonstrating the process of exhalation, I will simply push the clear rep, which is the diaphragm, and then the lungs will deflate, which means the carbon dioxide in the lungs will now move through the trachea to the outside environment through the nose string, and that's how the process of exhalation occurs. This will not only help me, it will also help learners to have a clear picture in their mind. How does the process of inhalation and exhalation occur in their body system? Thank you.
For learner activity, learners will be required to interact with the chart after the teacher has explained the breathing process using the lung model. For example, I can ask one learner to come and take a flashcard and then stick here. I can ask Ndobelo, could you please come in front and label a diaphragm for me? Wow, let's give him 2 snaps and then ask another learner, Mandisi, could you please come in front and label a lung? Thank you. Let's give him 2 snaps. This will instill the learner deeper understanding of the respiratory system, and not only that, it will also serve as a form of gamification and allow and encourage learner engagement.
For further assessment, learners will be grouped to enhance collaboration, creativity, and also to design and make their model representing the respiratory system. For rubric, we'll be focusing on criteria such as is the learner used recyclable material, will focus on the functionality for inflation and deflation, and also the accuracy of the model, and will be also focusing on the creativity, if the learners were able to design and also make a suitable model for respiratory system.
From your question, you're mostly interested in demonstrating the process of inhalation and exhalation, right?
Yes.
So in a sense, I would say your model is coming short in demonstrating the actual process of inhaling and exhaling. Why is that? For instance, your balloons are not inflatable. Yes, you might have issues of contamination within the classroom if you're working with kids, but you as a teacher could demonstrate for the kids the process of inhalation and exhalation. So I would advise that you change the model here, you update it in such a way that you can inflate those balloons, such that when you inhale, your diaphragm will expand, right?
Yes.
And then when you release the air from the balloons, and then your diaphragm will retract.
Yes.
Right. So that's one improvement that you can make, but it's not all lost in the sense that you do cover the basics in terms of the structure of the respiratory system. You have a trachea present. You'll be able to demonstrate it for the kids in terms of how the air travels into the lungs and out of the lungs. And also you have the representation of the lungs within, or in terms of how they're located within the respiratory system. So you can take this as it is to the kids, but I would suggest that you have an additional resource such as a chart that outlines the entire system side of respirations, where you can show where the bronchia is, where the diaphragm is, because this on its own will not be sufficient. It may be able to demonstrate the processes, but in terms of the makeup of the respiratory system, it might come short.